I ain't get to tell you. I ain't get to tell about Udi. Then I swear you'll die. Then I gotta die like that. You told my shit.
Damn, bitch.
I gotta die if I tell what happened.
Give me my phone.
That's crazy, y'all. I ain't really gonna die behind this, so y'all won't know that tea right now.
Give me my phone.
Mark done got quiet. Where he at? He right here. He getting mad. He don't like the truth coming out.
On Saturday night, June 14th, 2025, thousands of people were scrolling through Facebook when they stumbled into something nobody should ever have to witness. A 27-year-old fashion influencer known as Duchess Dior was going live from her home in Twin City, Georgia. What started as another evening broadcast quickly turned into a nightmare that viewers watched in real time. Zaria Carr was arguing with her husband on camera while her followers typed desperate messages in the comments, begging her to get help. Some viewers were already calling 911 as they watched the situation get worse by the minute. And before we dive deeper into this tragic case, let me know in the comments where you're watching from right now, because this story has reached people all over the world. But this live-streamed horror didn't start that Saturday night. The warning signs had been building for weeks, broadcast to thousands of followers who watched a relationship fall apart in public. This is the story of how social media became a window into domestic violence and how 35,000 followers couldn't save a life that was ending right in front of them. This is Accused, where we examine the cases that expose the truth behind the headlines. Thank you to everyone who supports this channel and helps us tell these stories with the respect they deserve. If this type of deep dive content matters to you, hit that subscribe button now. Tonight, we're looking at a case that shows how domestic violence has moved into the digital age, where private abuse becomes public entertainment, and where thousands of witnesses still can't stop a murder. We're going to walk through the digital evidence, the timeline that led to tragedy, and the investigation that followed. This is the story of how a fashion influencer's online life became her final broadcast, and how a marriage that looked perfect on social media was hiding deadly secrets. Zaria Carr was 27 years old and building something special online. Under the name Duchess Dior, she had grown her Facebook following to 35,000 people who loved her fashion content and positive energy. She was a mother of 2 children, a son and a daughter, and she often talked about her dreams of expanding her influence in the fashion world. Friends described her as vibrant and loving, someone who always tried to see the best in people. She lived in Twin City, Georgia, a small community in Emmanuel County where everyone knew each other. But behind the carefully curated posts and fashion advice, Zaria's marriage to 36-year-old Shamarcus Jamil Carr was becoming increasingly troubled. Shamarcus went by the Frenchman online and often appeared in Zaria's content. To followers, they seemed like a couple who shared everything, including their problems. That transparency would become dangerous. Friends and family later said they had growing concerns about the relationship, but Zaria always seemed to work things out with Shamarcus. What they didn't know was that the arguments were getting worse, and the violence was escalating. The couple had been having public disputes on social media for weeks before June 14th, with followers often commenting on their posts, asking if everything was okay at home. In the weeks leading up to June 14th, Zaria and Shamarcus's relationship problems became entertainment for their followers. They would argue in the comments of each other's posts, delete things, then post again like nothing happened. Shamarcus often made posts about loyalty and trust, while Zaria shared motivational quotes about knowing your worth. Their followers started to notice a pattern. After big arguments, one of them would post something loving about the other, like they were trying to prove everything was fine. Friends later told investigators that Zaria had confided in them about problems in the marriage. There were accusations of cheating, fights about money, and arguments about Zaria's growing social media presence. Shamarcus sometimes seemed jealous of the attention Zaria got online. In private messages that were later recovered, Zaria had told friends she was scared sometimes, but she always said things would get better. She was trying to protect her family and her image at the same time. The The week before June 14th, their public arguments on Facebook became more intense. Shamarcus made posts about being disrespected, while Zaria shared content about toxic relationships. Their followers were starting to take sides and getting involved in their personal business. Some people were encouraging the drama, treating their real relationship problems like a reality show. But a few followers were genuinely concerned and started reaching out to Zaria privately, asking if she needed help. She always said she was handling it. On the evening of June 14th, 2025, Zaria and Shamarcus started broadcasting their argument live on Facebook. Multiple videos from that night show the couple fighting about various issues, including accusations of cheating and testing each other's loyalty. Shamarcus was venting about several things during the live stream, and viewers could see the tension building between them. The argument wasn't just words. The body language and tone made many viewers uncomfortable. During one particularly tense moment captured on the live stream, Zaria nervously asked her husband, "What? You about to stab me?" Shamarcus kept talking like nothing had happened, but that question would later haunt everyone who heard it. Viewers in the comments were typing warnings, telling Zaria to leave, offering to call police, and begging her to end the stream. Some people were recording the live stream because they were worried about what they were seeing. The number of viewers kept growing as people shared the stream with others, saying something serious was happening. The live streams showed a relationship that had moved far beyond normal arguments. This was a couple who had lost all privacy, broadcasting their most personal problems to thousands of strangers. What viewers didn't know was that the cameras would soon stop rolling, but the violence would continue off-screen. Question for our accused community. You're watching a live stream and you notice clear signs that someone might be in danger from domestic violence. Your options are: contact local police immediately, try to reach out to the person through private messages, report the stream to Facebook, or try to get other viewers to help call authorities. What do you think is the most effective way to help someone in real time? Many of Zaria's viewers faced exactly this situation and had to make these impossible choices while watching from hundreds of miles away. At 9:30 p.m. on Saturday, June 14, 2025, police in Twin City, Georgia, got multiple calls about a domestic disturbance at a home on Fifth Avenue. The Twin City Police Department, Emmanuel County Sheriff's Office, and Emmanuel County EMS all responded to the location. Some of these calls came from people who had been watching the Facebook live streams and were worried about what they had seen. When officers arrived at the scene, they found 27-year-old Zaria Carr unconscious inside the home. Despite efforts to save her life, she was pronounced dead at the scene. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation later confirmed that Zaria had been physically assaulted before being shot and killed. The house that had been the backdrop for so many of her fashion posts and family moments was now a crime scene. But Shamarcus Carr was nowhere to be found. Police discovered that Zaria's 2021 Dodge Challenger was also missing from the property. The GBI immediately issued an alert for the vehicle and began searching for Shamarcus. They knew they were dealing with a murder case, and the suspect was armed and on the run. The same man who had been arguing with his wife on camera just hours earlier was now fleeing from the scene of her murder. The digital evidence from the live streams became crucial to the investigation. Detectives had hours of video showing the couple's final argument, recorded by viewers who never imagined they would become witnesses to a murder case. The streams provided a timeline and showed the escalation that led to Zaria's death. Law enforcement agencies across Georgia were searching for Shamarcus Carr and the stolen Dodge Challenger. The manhunt lasted several hours as police followed leads and tracked the vehicle. Around 11 p.m. that same night, officers spotted the car in Wayne County, about an hour away from Twin City. When they tried to pull Shamarcus over, he refused to stop. What followed was a chase that ended in the most tragic way possible. When police finally cornered Shamarcus, he took his own life with a self-inflicted gunshot wound before officers could take him into custody. The man who had killed his wife just hours earlier died by his own hand, leaving behind 2 children who had lost both parents in one terrible night. The couple's 2 children, a son and daughter, suddenly became orphans because of their father's violence. Extended family members would later talk about the devastating impact on these kids, who had watched their parents' relationship fall apart on social media before losing them both forever. The community in Twin City was shaken by the violence that had erupted in their small town, broadcast live for the world to see. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation's final report revealed the full scope of what happened that night. Zaria had been physically assaulted before being shot to death by her husband. The evidence showed this wasn't a sudden explosion of violence, but the final escalation of an abusive relationship that had been playing out on social media for weeks. Investigators analyzed hours of Facebook content, including the live streams from June 14th and previous videos that showed the couple's deteriorating relationship. The digital evidence painted a picture of a marriage where private violence was becoming public spectacle. Viewers had unknowingly been watching the build-up to murder, with each argument and reconciliation postmarking another step toward tragedy. The case highlighted how domestic violence has evolved in the social media age. Abusers can now control and humiliate their victims in front of thousands of people, while victims sometimes feel trapped by their public image. Zaria's followers had watched her try to maintain a positive online presence, even as her marriage was falling apart behind the scenes. The investigation showed that many people had tried to help Zaria, sending private messages and offering support, but she was caught between protecting her family and protecting herself. The murder-suicide shook the Twin City community and sent ripples through social media. Zaria's followers were traumatized by what they had witnessed, with many seeking counseling after watching their favorite influencers' final moments. The case sparked conversations about the responsibility of social media platforms to intervene when live streams show violence or threats. Domestic violence advocates used Zaria's story to educate people about the warning signs of abuse, especially in relationships that seem perfect online. They pointed out that abusers often use social media to control their victims, making them post happy content or forcing them to share their private arguments publicly as a form of humiliation. Zaria's family and friends established memorials celebrating her life and her dreams. They wanted people to remember her for her ambition and love for her children, not just for how she died. The fashion community that had supported her online came together to honor her memory and support domestic violence prevention efforts. Today, if you visit Twin City, Georgia, you can still see reminders of Zaria Khadija Carr's life and dreams. Her social media pages remain as a testament to a young mother who was trying to build something positive while fighting a private battle that became tragically public. 2 children lost their mother to violence and their father to his own demons, all because a man couldn't handle his wife's independence and success. This case forces us to ask difficult questions about our role as viewers when someone's pain becomes our entertainment. When we watch relationship drama unfold on social media, are we helping or just watching someone's life fall apart? If you recognize the warning signs of domestic violence in your own relationship or someone you love, the National Domestic Violence Hotline is available 24/7 at 1-800-79-97233. Digital abuse is real abuse, and help is available. Tomorrow, we'll be examining another case where social media evidence played a crucial role in solving a crime. Subscribe to Accused if you believe these stories need to be told with truth and respect for the victims and their families. Zaria Carr wanted to inspire people through fashion and positive energy. Let's honor her memory by learning from her story and working to prevent tragedies like this from happening to others. Behind every trending hashtag and viral moment is a real person whose life matters more than our entertainment.